Okay, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, great and wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world. I greet you according to your time zone. While you are joining us, share the video, invite others to join. Share the video, invite others to join. It is as we are going to bring the summary of today's proceedings. The summary of today's proceedings. That is what we are going to bring to you. Good day, Jane Amadi. Greeting Ifeanyi Chukwu. Share the video, click the like button as you are joining us, so that we are going to hear what transpired in court. Share the video so that we proceed. Keep on sharing, keep on sharing. Like the video, like the video. Let's put things in order before we move on. Okay. Great and wonderful people of Biafra, great people of Africa, I greet you and I welcome you to this special edition of this program. While you are joining, let's do the sharing. Let us do the sharing. While you are joining, share the video, do the sharing. Do the sharing as you are joining us. So it is done and dusted. The awaiting time, the time that you have waited for. Of course, so many of us or so many of you does not know what exactly today is for the court. Many people don't understand that when the issue that what happened in court rather. Because if you look at the court proceedings today, you will know that the court proceedings today was swift. It was swift. There was no hindrance. There was no delay. There was no ado. It went smoothly and it went swiftly. So why is it so? It is as a result of what we do. It is as a result of the competent people we have as a legal team. That is the reason why we're continuously backing them up in the media space by coming out each and every time to make sure we are live and direct. We are live and direct. I know I don't come live mostly. This time it is actually 10 minutes before the top of the hour in Biafra land. It is 10 minutes to 2 in Biafra land. That is the time. 10 minutes to 2 in Biafra land. We are live and we are direct. So This is not a pre-recorded, this is a live broadcast. So, while you are joining, make sure you share as we continue. So just like I was saying, what happened in court today was swiftly, it is no longer a delay. Do you know what that signifies? It signifies that everything that we've been putting in place, everything that we've been doing, it's actually, working as we are doing it. People does not understand the power of media. Many of us does not understand the power of media and the power of what we do here. Because if you look at the plans and what many things, even the state advocates, how they also brought out the some of their tactics to see if there will be another delay. It was quashed. It was sent back to bottomless pit by Professor Michael Zokome, the son. Because one thing that the Nigeria state wanted to continuously doing was to actually continue delaying and delaying and delaying, because they are aware that the issue of jurisdiction becomes a dead end. They are aware of that, and they know that as long as the case is heard, that it is finished. As long as the case is heard, they are aware that the case is finished. So that is the reason why they've been pulling up a stunt and delay strategy to make sure that the case is not heard. But finally, it is done and it is dusted. So now we are going to now give you the outcome of what transpired in court today. After giving you the outcome, we analyze what you are going to expect in the coming months. Now, while you are joining, don't forget to share the video. We are not going to take long. But while you are joining, don't forget to share this video. Share it. Let other people get to hear. It is the good news. It is the good news. Of course, so many people will not want to hear it, or so many people will not want to call it a good news or what it is, but it is indeed a good news. Because had it been, this happened on the 14th, I believe by now, in few weeks time, we were supposed to be hearing about how we emerge victoriously. But that is not everything still remain okay. Let me share with you what transpired in court, then we bring Barrister Joffos. When we are done sharing, let me read as it transpired before we hear from the testimony of Barrister Joffo. Now, Nnamdi Kanu Supreme Court fixes December 15 for judgment. You know what transpired today? I know so many people, when they heard about December 15th, so many of you were not happy, right? It is what is expected. There is a process to everything. This process that we have achieved, this process that went through now, it is the most important process, because it is this process that will give, create room to the verdict on the December 15th. But so many of you, I know you are angry, because you know very well, you and I and everybody around the world know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. We are aware that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has committed no crime known to any law, because self-determination is not a crime, and self-determination is well enshrined in the international law and it is well enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So, if you look at it, we in all ramification, we are justified. But we actually understood what has been transpiring. The reason why you find these people not actually trying to hear this case as it is happened today, as it is done and dusted today. This is the apex court of Nigeria. There is no other. If I bejeta go court to none Nigeria. And what's yours? And what's yours? So, as we have gone through the process from the lower court to the higher court, from the higher court to the apex court of the land, now our case is heard. Our case is heard. And you should not be surprised for them putting it to the 15th of December. We know that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has been there. He has been there. If I follow to Agugagu, I saw so many people with a crying face. We understand. We know, and the world knows that he committed no crime. But now, what you see happening, it is what you call the process of the court. It is the process of the court. Had it been the hearing did not take place today, that is where we are going to come out and we are going to lambast on the judiciary. But as long as the hearing has taken place, it is now, we are now waiting for the out. You know, this is what we've been waiting in the last 2 years. It is on the 15th of December. That is that long awaited time. It is going to take place in the 15th of December. So many of us who does not understand, they will be feeling bad. I am feeling bad as well, because the innocent man has been languishing in the DSS solitary confinement. So in saying this of 15th of December, it's actually far. It is very far. But it is not far to actually, when you understand the process of the law, when you understand the process of the court, it is not that far, you know, for the hearing to take place. Do you know why? Do you know why it is not that far for the hearing to take place? I know so many of you will twist and turn what I'm saying. So many of you will actually misunderstood it, because so many people who are actually in this struggle or in with, you know, that we speak to all the time, some of them are uninformed. I don't want to use the word illiterate, or I don't want to use the word ignorant. So the reason why I am coming to tell you this is for you to understand that we are making progress. You remove the crying face. What we need to do now, it is actually prepare to receive Mazen Nnamdi Kanu after the 15th of December, because he is going to celebrate Christmas with you, Christmas festival. Those of you who celebrate that festival, I don't celebrate it, but he is going to be there while you are be free, as you know, as you are celebrating your Christmas festival. And I am quite optimistic about it, because the issue of jurisdiction, it is a bone in the throat of Nigeria and the judiciary that you cannot swallow, you cannot spit it out. You will only need a surgery in order to remove it. And that surgery, it is actually to quash the case in order to save the face of Nigeria judiciary and those judges that is going to preside over this matter. So in understanding the process of the court, I am going to read, because it has been fixed for 15th. Now let us read exactly the content of what transpired in the court today. A 5-member panel led by Justice Kudirat Kekere Ekun. This is the judge, the judge, or the lead judge amongst the 5-man, panel of judges. The leader of this 5-man panel of judges is called Justice Kudirat Kekere Ekun, which is a Yoruba man. Justice Kudirat Kekere Ekun, a Yoruba man. Ekun fixed the date after counsel for both the federal government and the detained IPOB leader adopted their final brief of arguments. Adopted their final brief of argument because there was also a logic, a loggerhead trying to bring in or implement another delay strategy, but it was quashed by our learned son. Let us continue. The Supreme Court has fixed December 15 to deliver its judgment on the appeal that is seeking to compel the federal government to release the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB in a bracket, Nnamdi Kanu, from detention. A 5-member panel led by Justice Kudirat Kekere Ekun fixed the date after counsel for both the federal government and detained IPOB leader adopted the final briefs of argument. While Kano Agabi led Kano's team of lawyers, Mike Ozokome presented his appeal to the Apex Court panel. Ozokome pleaded the court to not only order the immediate release of his client from detention, but to equally award very heavy and punitive costs against the federal government. Are you taking note of that? Are you taking note of that? A damages must be paid. A reparation is demanded. A reparation for the sake of time wasted. 2 years reparation, it is quite huge. 2 years reparation, it is quite huge. Understanding the fact that this man fell ill in the hands of the federal government because of the arbitrary detention that he is going through. Because we know very well that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is an arbitrary detention. He committed no crime. British knows that. The Pope knows that. United Nations is aware of that. Every international organization is aware of that. The only thing that is preventing them not to talk, it is one thing, either they are benefiting, or in the other hand, the foreign policy. That is one thing that is actually, but you cannot tell me the foreign policy, because if you want to extend it to the foreign policy, there is a foreign policy between Ukraine and Russia. So that is exactly what it means. So it is basically what is their interest, because anything that you want to compel anybody, any country to do, they first of all check what will be their interest. They check within, they will apply their foreign policy, what is going to be their interest. That is the reason why, if it is not going to be, something beneficial to them or towards their foreign policy, it means that they will keep silent or they will stay on the periphery. Does not mean that what we are looking for, it is not just, but it is because of the world put interest first, rather than human life, rather than justice. So that's exactly what is going on. If you see what is going on in this Eastern Europe, you will understand that it is people actually, making use of their interest. People who sell weapons, they are actually benefiting. People who manufacture weapons, they are actually benefiting. So other people might be losing their life, but the interest of the people comes first. That's one thing we need to understand. So that is the reason why they are aware. And you should understand that everything that transpired within the judicial process or within the judicial space has a big implication against or for the country, whether good or bad. If the judiciary is actually, unbiased, it can even attract international investors, because investors, just like you know that what Nigeria does to MTN and other big companies in Nigeria, when Nigeria is actually broke, they will sanction those big companies, they will tax them, they will give them tax, they will tell them you have contravened this one, they will give them a tax to pay. It is always what they do. So that is in that regard, when an investor is looking at this, they check the history or the antecedent of the judiciary, how they handle issues, they will know that they will be protected in an event where executive want to manhandle them. So it has a rippling effect on the Nigeria as a country. So now let us continue. I just wanted to make you to understand that they are aware that everything we are doing is just. But the only thing that they don't want to do, because they have their interest is not, they don't have any much thing to benefit from it, they keep quiet. So let's proceed. In his submission, however, counsel, okay, let me start it from here. Okay. Ozokome prayed the court to not only order the immediate release of the client from detention, but equally award very heavy and punitive cost against the federal government. Did you hear that? In his submission, however, counsel to the federal government, Tijani Ghazali, urged the apex court to uphold the amended brief of argument he filed on May 3. Hey, did you see what I said? By they were trying to bring another strategy of delay. Because had it been that they uphold the amended brief of argument filed on May 3, 2023, this is what they were trying to do. They did all the way in the lower court, which is the court of Justice Bentanyaku. This was what they did. Every day they are filing new count charges. Every court sitting they are filing new count charges. Of course, each time there is a new charges, the lawyers must, ask for court for adjournment or postponement of the case, so that they will go back and study the new count charges, or to now write a response towards the new count charges. So it is all about delay strategy. It is not as if, it is not as if that is a process of the court. It is not a proper process of the court that every fixed day you bring a new count charges. It is not done anywhere. You will bring an evidence to back up the existing charges. Not each and every court state sitting you bring a new count charges. It does not work like that. In any competent court of law, it can never work like that, because now it is actually defeating the ends of justice. It is actually, the travesty of law. That's exactly what it means. So that's exactly what these people, which is Gozila, they call him Tijani Gozila or Ghazali. What he tried to now bring on in the apex court of the land, so that he will be wasting the time of the highest court of the land. That's what he planned to do. That's why he said, in his submission, however, counsel to the federal government, Tijani Ghazali, urged the apex court to uphold the amended brief of argument he filed on the May 3, 2023, in the filer. Oh, zoo. Every day they are filing. Each and every day there is filing. He prayed the court to allow federal government appeal, set aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which ordered Kanu's release and order the resumption of his trial before the Federal High Court in Abuja on terrorism-related charges. Of course, one thing. One thing you should know is that lawyers, lawyers, he is making money out of the federal government because, of course, you will be convincing the federal government that something will happen. We are going to get it, because he's making money off the federal government. One thing you should understand about law and the lawyers, they are, most of them, they understand that the court is, if you are able to outshine the other lawyer, it does not matter what the case is, the court will hear you and hear your own part of the story. Now, the most important thing is that we have a learned professor, a lawyer, a son. So, such people like Tijani, Gazila, or Gozila does not stand a chance to outshine our learned and competent lawyers. That's why he tried to say that the court should send back the case, because that is his plea. His plea that the apex court of the land should send back the case to the court of Bintanyaku, so that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will continue to answer the case of their frivolous case of terrorism. That's exactly the plea of this Gozila, or what is his name, Gozila or Ghazali Tijani. And Odom Konka unu meliri odika mpi alụsị mpi ajiana. Odom koda man makafa ichala afa da nwoke ahụ. Nke unu meliri odika mpi okunu wata. So that is his plea. So Gazela further urged the apex court to dismiss Kanu's cross appeal. Kanu's cross appeal. On October 13th, 2022, the Court of Appeal Abuja delivered a judgment ordering Kanu's release from detention. In a anonymous decision by the three-member panel, the appellate court equally quashed a 15-count terrorism charges that federal government entered against the detained IPOB leader before the Federal High Court in Abuja. The court said it was satisfied that the federal government flagrantly violated all known laws when it forcefully rendered Kanu from Kenya to the country for the continuation of his trial. Did you hear that? Do you contextualize this? Because I know that if you don't pay attention, you might not be able to contextualize it. This is still the appeal court verdict. That's it. It held that such arbitrary use of power by the Nigeria government divested the trial court of the jurisdiction to continue with the Kanu's trial. That is the bone in the neck. On the neck of the Nigeria Tijani Gozila and the Nigeria state, the bone on their neck, it is that, divested the trial of the court jurisdiction to continue with Kanu's trial, because the extraordinary rendition does not have backing in the law. That's what we keep saying. Extraordinary rendition does not have any backings in the law, because it is actually, when you do extraordinary rendition on an individual, it is automatically going for, it is subjecting that individual to torture in order to extort information. So that means Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was subjected to a severe torture. A severe torture. If you doubt what I am saying, go and actually, read what extraordinary rendition is, and you now differentiate it with the rendition. You check what is the meaning of rendition. Then you now check what is the difference between rendition and extraordinary rendition for you to understand that what I've been telling you, it is actually what the law says. It is not my own saying. No one goes and kidnap individual and bring them for trial. You cannot contravene a law in order to, make the law, uphold the law. It is not done. It is not done. You can never contravene a law in order to get justice. Now, let me give you example of contravention of the law. Do you know that if somebody come to steal from you today, as where you are right now, somebody come to steal from you, maga kapa, or somebody come to, to rob you with a gun, and they are done robbing you, and they now are running away. And because there is somebody who is brave enough from the other side, they know that nobody's life is now in danger at that period of time. That person who is driving will now run over the person who do you pickpocketing, or who did armed robbery for you, against you, and that person now run him over with a car because he now already saw that this is a criminal. You run him over with a car without understanding what transpired at that time of the incidents of robbery. You run the criminal over with a car, or you kill the criminal. Do you know that you automatically is going behind bars because you cannot break the law in order to get justice? You can only, use the law. You can work within the ambits of the law for you to get justice in the law. It is very, very plain and simple. Remember that the person you knocked with your car is a criminal. He is a criminal. You now run him over. The criminality that transpired is not against you. And the lives of the people there is no longer in danger because the criminal was running away, which means he is running. He didn't place anybody's life in danger. Now you go and knock him over, except if you are a law enforcement and your law permits you as a law enforcement. Remember, except if you are a law enforcement and the law or constitution of your country permits you as a law enforcement to use your vehicle or to shoot a running criminal without looking forward to apprehending him. You have contravened the law. You have contravened the law. That's it. In some cases, if a criminal is running and the criminal is not posing a threat on you as a law enforcement chasing after this criminal, do you know that in many laws, you will not shoot that criminal because they are running. They are not imposing, your life is not in danger. Except if they turn around to face you, that's when you will fire. But in a situation whereby you see a criminal who is running away, you don't have right to kill them. Because your life is not in danger. The life of the people around is not in danger. You only have right if you are going to prove to the court that the life of these people are in danger. And you will still now go to the dock. Because remember, you are trying to catch a criminal or stop a criminality or retrieve what has been stolen from a person. If the court in Nigeria is working, many law enforcement will be behind bars. It doesn't matter what crime, because you know what is called jungle justice. Jungle justice is a crime. It is a crime, jungle justice, because that's exactly what you are doing to that person. So in the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, in the context of the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, understand it very well that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was in Kenya. And for you to go to get Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, there must be a process of law. There must be a process whereby a case of extradition or application for extradition will be submitted to the host nation. When that application is submitted, a case will be opened in a law court where it will now, investigation will be conducted to find out if this person is going to get justice where he is, the application is going to take him. So in a situation whereby the court perceive that there will be no justice on behalf of this person or for this person in where they are going, the court will say they will decline the application for extradition. Remember, this is extradition. They will decline the application for the extradition. So, but if the court perceive unbiased, remember that it must be an unbiased judge to perceive that there is no danger in the life posed at this person if transferred to another jurisdiction. That's the only time the court will now grant the extradition, request. And before then, there must be a bilateral treaty between two nations. There must be a bilateral treaty. If there is no bilateral treaty, you must start from the beginning in order to form a bilateral treaty between these two nations before you will be able to go through that, process of extradition. If you do not have bilateral treaty, which I doubt, Nigeria does not have bilateral treaty with Kenya. Are you aware of that? They do not have bilateral treaty except if they formed it 2 years ago or 1 year ago. But the last time I checked, Nigeria has no bilateral treaty. So Nigeria cannot apply for extradition or rendition of an individual from Kenya. They do not have bilateral treaty. So how then did the Kanu touch base with Ground Zero in Nigeria? It is only done off the book. The sitting government of Kenya, which was Uhuru Kenyatta, decided to aid Nigeria to commit crime against the soil, against the sovereignty of Kenya as a nation. That's what they did. They committed a crime. It is overriding the treaty, the international laws and treaty. And the crime of Nigeria is a crime of terrorism. So that's why if you go and run a running criminal, because you don't even know if this is really a criminal, you just saw them, they have a gun running away. You don't even know whether the gun is a toy gun. You don't even know if it's original gun. That's why you cannot run them over. That's why you cannot kill them from behind. You must make sure that somebody's life is in danger before you will take action as such. Have you now seen the conundrum that Nigeria have found themselves into? So that is the reason why in all ramifications, regardless of the logic brought up by the Nigeria Godzilla, which is their court, what do you call them? The Nigeria advocate or the lawyer of the state. Regardless of the argument that is going to be presented by Godzilla, Tijani Godzilla, it is actually not going to be standing the test of time. The issue of rendition nullifies every logic, every argument that is going to be presented before the judge. Hello? That's how it is. You cannot contravene the law in order to uphold or to get justice. It is not done. Only if it is done in Nigeria. I will not be surprised if it is done in Nigeria. I won't be surprised. Because we always see jungle justice all over the place. We always see, people doing as they please. We always see police taking individuals, detaining them without presenting them to the court of law within 48 hours. We always see it. And what has the judiciary done about it? We don't know. The answer is we don't know. Because I am a victim of wrongful arrest in Nigeria. A victim of wrongful arrest in Nigeria. If you go to Nigeria, you will not find my fingerprint as a criminal. But I was arrested and detained for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. Because of this issue of I follow and I no follow. Why did they not take me to court? Because they wanted to, that was coming into a business place. Coming into a marketplace, just pick up every young man. We were a lot of men, a lot of, I would say a lot of boys. I was still a boy. So they picked us up. That was when I was inside the state CID. Do you know what I saw there? I saw a 14-year-old boy. He told me he has been in the state CID with the raw criminals in the last 6 months. Nko. That was what gave me hope. He gave me hope. At least I saw. Does not mean I did not salute Kodo. I saluted Kodo. But now for you to understand that Nigeria is a place where a contravention of the law becomes a new phenomenon. It becomes an anomaly. Because now they are too lazy. Inside every police station, the station commander or the DPO of every police station, this is how they make their own dough, their money. I don't know if such things is still in play, but I believe because it was bad. It was very, very bad. Detained for 2 weeks. Detained for 2 weeks. I almost broke down inside the detention because we were detained. You know what they call the case? Detention first. And when they call it detention first, you should know it is for you to go and look, because if you are in detention, they check the quality of people who were coming for you. If they check the quality of people who were coming for you, and if the quality of the people who were coming for you, they are the people who can afford money, they will now give you the price to pay for bail. How can you arrest somebody without conducting any investigation to know whether this person is actually tagged to the scene of the crime? Of course, we didn't know what the crime was. We were inside the marketplace where I was working. We didn't know why they started picking up young men. They picked us up 2 weeks in the state CID. Dude, I almost break down. There is nothing I wasn't thinking. But when I see the little boy of less than 15 years, I have a little bit of hope. He's been there for 6 months. I'm only there for first day, second day. I was only there for first day, second day. So it becomes like something that gives me hope. If he could survive here, why can't I survive? That was what gave me hope. Then I started staying. I did not eat for that 2 weeks. Believe you me. Because I don't know, no appetite. Because have you ever been in police custody in Nigeria? First of all, from the beginning, they gave me a trauma of my life. That trauma was, number one, you have to go to the dark cell. If you do not pay the police the amount of 1,500 naira. As a young guy I was. It was after my secondary school. After my secondary school. For you to see how young I was. As a young guy, I was around I was around 18, 17, 18 years old. So I was detained. They say that I must pay 1,500 if I don't want to go to the dark cell where the condemned criminals are even going to rape you. That's what they told me. If you don't want to go to cell 1, you must pay the amount of 1,500 naira. I had to do all possible plans. I had the money, but I don't have it there. Because even our computers, our gadgets that we are using to work inside the market, they were left outside. If not friends that saw what happened, that did not come around, who went to actually gather these things and put them together for us, we weren't going to actually retrieve those things. That is the recklessness of the police, Nigeria police. Recklessness of Nigeria law enforcement. Now I had to now cough out 1,500 naira, because when they tried to put me inside that cell, I saw the amount, both people who are having bullet wound, how they are smelling. Dude, when I peep, I push myself. I started pushing myself. I pushed myself. I insisted. I held the clothes of that police officer. I told him, no, I'm not going inside here. It's better you kill me here. I told him I'm not going in. I held them. They were beating. I said, no, I'm not going inside here. When they have already told me that this man will rape you, you want me to go? Hey. So I said to them, okay, let me make a phone call so that I will get the money to pay for to go to open cell. To go to an open cell, which is a cell where you will sleep on this ute. On the cell where you will have access to tissue in order to light it so that smell will not be there. In the cell where you will be seeing person next to you. Dude, I had to call for that 1,500 naira in order to pay to the police so that I go to open cell. For you to know that arrest was just a money-making scheme for that station at that period of time. Just to make money out of the working class, young people inside the market. Now, when when they actually, brought the 1,500 naira for me, one of my friend brought it. They brought it, I paid them. They now opened the open cell, went in. It doesn't mean that the people in open cell are not criminals, but they were criminals who were able to pay in order to go into the open cell. Now, it becomes around like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the night, we were called. My family members visited me, but what police officers told them that the instruction, the standing order or the standing instruction was called detention first. Detention first. Nigeria is a place where they will detain you before they start looking for whether you commit crime or not. They just take you, detain you, then they now go and check whether you commit crime or not. Where is it done in this world? That you don't have any crime committed by these people. You just pack them, lodge them, take 1,500, because all of us there, we are all working class. We prefer to pay 1,500 in order not to go to the criminal cell, dark cell. That you get salute to get a kodo. There. Because the people there who are ruthless. For you to see, it becomes a money-making scheme for the DPO or the station commander of that station. Now, around 7, 8 in the evening, that's when they were calling us to give our statement. I asked, what is the meaning of the statement? I don't even know what it means by giving statement, because I don't know the process of police station. I have never been, it was my first time. Then I wrote my statement. I was somebody that is very, very logical. Regardless of that, they said the statement is what transpired. Why are you here? So I wrote. I was very good at writing essay in school. You know, in my high school days, I was very, very good at writing essay. So I was very, very good at writing essay. So I started writing. We were where we are working, and all of a sudden, we saw people start running. I didn't run because I did not know what is going on. And there was a movie I used to watch, which is there is a criminal running, and another person who saw the criminal running started running, you know, before the criminal even. Then he ended up being a victim. So I wrote there that I did not run because I don't know, and it was police I was seeing. So seeing police means that why would I run for police? Because I don't know, I didn't commit any crime. And Nigeria told us that police is your friend. So I wrote these things. After writing the statement, they now put me back in the open cell. We stood there. Okay, now putting me back in the open cell. Remember that the time after writing the statement, that was when it is now my time to salute Kodo. It is now my time to salute Kodo inside the open cell. Because all of them, there is a cell manager, which is called, what do you call him? Kodo. You call him, the cell manager, it is called, I think is the one who is called Kodo. He stays on the door of the cell. Anybody that comes in, they tell you, no man, you way. You know. So, at the end of the day, after writing my statement, they send me into the toilet. Dude, what type of toilet? A pit toilet. When I say it's a pit toilet covered with, you know, if you see this toilet with no shoes on the floor of the toilet, dude, etu ga tabu gidia. Etu. Imiyana etu. This worm fit enter your leg because it is a very, very, you know, horrible place to be. If I did not go, you know, if I didn't go into the state of shock that period of time of my life, it means that's when I discovered that I was a strong man. Something you never, you know, you don't have any idea that you will ever land here. Because you don't, I'm not a criminal, I have never committed any crime, you know. That is exactly when I went into I asked them, so why am I here? They told me, just hands up. If you ask them question, you collect. You chop slap. You hands up, holding it on the wall of the toilet. You will hold there. Then when the coder want to talk to you, they say, where is your cell show? They call it cell show. I say, okay. I don't have any other money. I just give the police 1.5 that someone brought to me. I didn't know that I have to pay also inside the cell. They gave me a slap. So, okay, you will be like this the whole night until your cell show arrive. And then once it clocks like 8 o'clock, no more noise in the counter. Like most of the police, they are gone, or they are, you see, if you will, with your mind, you will be noticing that it is no longer movement, a lot of movement inside there. That's when they will call you out to salute Kodo. You see this, your palm, you hit it on the wall, and that wall is a place where you see there is the cell that I refuse to go. The cell that I have to pay 1,500 not to go. That cell, if you hit that hand on that wall, if the person there in that cell did not hear it, you have not started. When you hit the hand on the wall, what they will shout, no man iwe. Or if they say iwe, then it means that you are doing it correctly. Dude, when I saw people doing it, I started crying. Because, you know, I cried. If I didn't cry blood, it means blood does not come out from the eyes. I started crying. So at the end of the day, I pleaded with them that I just need the next day I am going to pay sell show an extra. I pleaded with them. Their sell show was 1,000 naira. I pleaded with the Kodo man that I will pay sell show tomorrow. If I don't pay sell show, they should torture me all they want. That I just need to communicate with the person who is going to come to see me. I will take money from them and give you. Prince, you say you push card, draw on the wall. No, these people, they have different tactics of, after hitting your hand though, if you pass the hand one, you hit your head. This head, you will hit it on the wall. They will call the people from the other cell. They say, no money way. They tell you, you know way. They will slap you. Tell you to hit the wall till you wait. So, I didn't want to go through that process. I pleaded with them. I was in that toilet until midnight before I was pleading with them. And when they light the tissue paper to prevent the smell of that place, I will be inhaling this tissue paper. After that, I stayed there for 2 weeks because there has been people coming, when I know people were flogging in. That was when I realized that Nigeria police does not even respect lawyers. That was that time. I don't know about now. Nigeria security does not respect, they don't respect the law. Because the last person who came said, let's charge this issue to court. If you believe that this guy did something, if you believe that these people, charge them to court. After the so-called dialogue, that's when they now charge me. You know how much I paid? I paid them 30,000. Remember, 30,000 was a huge amount of money. Nanya Adam. I paid them 30,000. I think it was in 2003. No, or 2004. I paid them 30,000. And I came out. That day that I came out, if you see me, I feel like, when I'm walking like a butterfly. As if like a ghost. Because I don't feel my leg, I don't feel myself. In the night I will not sleep, food I will not eat. They're telling me that if you no eat, now your problem, you go die here, nobody care. You go die here. I see the small boy, less than 15-year-old boy, was eating like everything that comes around. The 15-year-old boy go rush. They eat him. Then I come, they ask, when I blend in with them, where beside I don't pay my sale show. I asked the boy, what crime did you commit? He said he accidentally killed, he went to take his father's double barrel. His father's double barrel. And he pressed it, he shot his grandfather. That's what brought the young boy inside the cell. Then, that time, I know that during my entrance exam, we talked about juvenile delinquency. I think in my common entrance, not even in my WAEC, we wrote about juvenile delinquency. I remember that there is a place called juvenile where children who are under the age of 18 goes when they commit crime. But in Nigeria, I was so surprised. I say that I am above 16 and I am above 17. If this person who is below 15 is here, who am I? It means that these people can even kill me without anything asked. That's when I began to believe that there is nothing like law in Nigeria. There is nothing like court in Nigeria. That's when I made peace with it. That was how I blended in. And after all this, I paid them 30,000. After refusing, they didn't want to negotiate how much we need to pay for bail. They didn't want to talk about it. They say detention first. Detention on what? I no follow. That was the time I noticed that I no follow is real in Nigeria. You see this issue, if I no follow, it is real in Nigeria. It is a money-making scheme for the police commanders. After that, I went home. That was when I said to myself, I will not live here anymore. I will never ever live here in Nigeria anymore. I became depressed. I suffered trauma. I didn't know that. I didn't know what trauma. You know, when I'm talking about what you pass through can make you suffer trauma, but you wouldn't understand the trauma until you go to a developed country. When you start having some issues, you go to the doctor, they tell you are traumatized. Then you tell a psychologist your history. What is the darkest time of your life? You told them. The psychology will cancel you. Will tell you when you try to think about such thing. If you try to think about such thing, you should replace it with a good moment. Remember a good moment. You will be put on medication because of this trauma that you go through. What about those who did not have that knowledge that they or have access to go to doctor in order to then they refer them to psychology? Those people, they will not know that they are sick, right? They will believe, no, I am just stressed. You believe that you are just stressed. One day it's either you do something wrong to yourself, or there are many things. Raymond Benson, you are an idiot. It is your father who deserves more incarceration. Raymond Benson. Criminals. Those are criminals. That is the reason why when unknown gunmen came out and killing police, we were all clapping. Because people like me, I was celebrating it. Believe you me. I was celebrating it. But it came to a point where, these unknown gunmen now become known. And their activities, we didn't understand anymore. Because themselves, they are not innocent. We know them. We know their activities now. Notice that they are not innocent. So, my humanity clicks in. I say, why would I be celebrating criminals? Killing criminals? It means that I am not human. So, I decided, no. I will not celebrate them anymore. It is from the antecedent with Nigeria police. That's why I was celebrating them. And you will never blame me for celebrating unknown gunmen killing law enforcement. Because they deserved it. They killed so many people. They killed so many children. If not, physical killing, they gave them psychological killing. You have no idea of the trauma. That is the reason why I hate what is called Nigeria today. I hate them so much. When I see green, white, green, I remember my trauma. And you believe that somebody like me will one day tell you that one Nigeria is going to work. So, bringing it to the context of what we are saying, the reason why I actually navigate through this is for you to understand that Nigeria judiciary, if they started working, maybe it is like yesterday, because it has never worked for anybody. It is always about injustices that is meted on innocent people. That is the reason why you see many people who are criminal today. It is as a result of injustice. But nothing justifies you to be a criminal. Nothing. That's one thing that everybody needs to put at the back of their mind. Nothing can justify a criminality. Nothing. But you will see people who are already traumatized, especially those who live with their auntie and brother, wicked auntie and wicked brother. They are already traumatized. They have gone through pain. And they start seeing the activities of police. They become criminal. You can never call them back because these people can commit suicide. You know what is suicide? They can commit suicide as a result of their, antecedent. That's why if they become criminal, there is no way calling them back. It becomes numb to them. They don't even see anything about killing people. So that is how Nigeria destroyed the lives of the youth. That is how Nigeria destroyed the lives of innocent people. Imagine that child who mistakenly used the gun to kill the grandfather. Do you know that child will become? Do you know what that child will become? I only stayed there for 2 weeks. The child has been there for 6 months before I arrived. What will the life of that child be like? Because had it been you took him to a proper facility where he will go through a rehabilitation process in order to even curb the trauma that he's going through as a child who mistakenly killed someone with the gun. The trauma he's going through, as if it is not enough, they place him in jail, in this holding cell. So, in coming to what we are saying, the law and the Nigeria law has been aiding and abetting the criminality of the law enforcement. So that is the reason why this issue of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu opens up that people will criticize the law, the justice system of Nigeria. And the critics that the justice system of Nigeria is receiving, it is actually pushing them and placing them to be, to do something that is going to be seen by the public. Something that is going to be seen by the public. Remember that what it will push them to see is only when there is a case, such as case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, where there is a public interest. Case of public interest. If there is no public interest, there will be no justice. So now, coming back to what we are reading, that the lawyers was presenting every day a new count charges against Nnamdi Kanu in a high court. Every court date a new count charges until they become 15, which is gross violation of the court processes. It is gross violation of court processes, because that means you don't exactly have facts and figure before you actually apprehended this individual and jailed them. So you are detaining them arbitrarily because there is nothing you have against them other than what you say every 3 months a new count charges. In order to to postpone the case, every 4 months a new count charges. So it is arbitrarily detention at that period of time. It is actually against the law, gross violation of the right of an individual, whether presumed or a criminal. It is a violation of that person's right. Because if you perceive that I am a criminal, you need to have evidence that you will present to court that will grant you an arrest warrant that I am going to be arrested. So if there is no warrant of arrest, it means there is no crime. It means it is born of the premonition of those who made such move to go and extraordinary rendition Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. It is a premonition. So, had it been that if Nigeria state or Nigeria lawyer was a brilliant lawyer, or Nigeria is a place where the rule of law is respected, regardless of which individual it may concern. Now, Nigeria, that is the reason why they went to kidnap him. Had it been they kidnapped him and they started and they insisted on the so-called frivolous charges he was answering before they made an attempt to kill him, that he is escaped for his life. Had it been they actually, stood on that, case, it will make sense. It will make sense within the legal framework. It is going to make a bit of sense, but it will not overrule or override the case of jurisdiction. But the reason why I am telling you it is going to make sense, it shows that these people, or they have filed these things, they present all the cases before the court at once, not amending and amending. Now, it will make sense to show that there is indeed all this amending and non-amending every month. To show that what they presented against Nnamdi Kanu has a prospect to stand trial, to stand before court. It means that it is not premeditated, or it is not born of personal vendetta. Because any law that's actually entertained every month amendment of charges, any law that entertains it, that law actually is biased. Believe you me. Any court that entertains every month amendment of charges on the original charges, it is biased. Because how can you be amending charges each and every time? It is the travesty of law, of justice. A travesty of justice. You can't be amending charges because it means you didn't know what crime this person committed. You are just going up and down. Every day you are looking for one. You are taking one from here, taking one from there. Before you present issue to the court, you file it and you make sure you have your facts and figure. Because you cannot waste the time of the court. The court is busy making sure that the law is protected. For the sake of ordinary people and for the sake of any individual, be it, regardless of their financial status. But the law condoned such delay strategy. Till this moment we found ourselves. And the same delay strategy that this Godzilla man, Tijani, decided to, try to bring again in court today. So let me actually finalize the reading. I believe I have given you an intro level to what justice is like, regardless of, this is actually like universal. I am not telling you these things because these kind of things must have a reflection in every constitution of a democracy. This is democratic, nation, how it is run. Now, it must have any, what I told you now, every constitution of every nation will have the element of what I told you now because it is universal. Now, let us further look into this. As he prayed the court to allow federal government's appeal to set aside the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which ordered Kanu's release and ordered the resumption of his trial before the federal court in Abuja on the charge of terrorism related. Godzilla or Ghazali further urged the apex court to dismiss Kanu's appeal. Just like that. On October 13, the Court of Appeal, that's when they gave their verdict with an anonymous decision by the 3-member panel of the appellate court. Now, the court said it was satisfied that the federal government flagrantly violated all known laws when it forcefully rendered Kanu from Kenya to the country of Nigeria. This is where we stand. This is where nullifies every logic that they might be presenting. You cannot, do wrong and now coming to the court and say, no, I want to amend the wrong guide. You must answer for the wrong you have actually done before you talk about if there is any amendment of that. It held that such arbitrary use of power by the Nigeria government divested the trial court of the jurisdiction to continue with the Kano's trial. End of story. That's what ends the case. However, dissatisfied with the judgment, the federal government took the matter before the Supreme. Okay, dissatisfied. However, dissatisfied with the judgment, the federal government took the matter before the Supreme Court. It further persuaded the appellate court to suspend the execution of the judgment pending the termination of its appeal. Okay. Did you hear that? That is what instruction of the court. I think I read the instruction of the court. It further persuaded the appellate court to suspend the execution of the judgment. Okay, no, that is the take of the Godzilla. I'm still reading the Godzilla. The Godzilla's submission to the apex court. To further suspend the execution of the judgment pending the determination of its appeal. Okay? So that is it. That is the article that we have in our disposal. Now, let us now try to bring... Let me try to bring the interview. The interview granted. Let me see if I will be able to bring the video in front of our screen here. All right, I can. So let me establish one moment. Let me bring it from Barrister Joffo before we analyze, because I want to analyze that which Barrister Joffo said, so that so many of you who are already in the state of panic, you'll just come back. So, here is the video of the interview before we conclude our analysis. It is done and dusted. It is done and dusted. I hope you are hearing me from your side. Let's see. Let's find out. It might be low, but try to put it towards your ears, because I'm sharing a screen so that you may hear it, because I want to actually, pick up something from what he said.
Reference on what happened in court today. Of course, the mother came up today for hearing of the main appeal before the Supreme Court. So, as you are aware, we have two appeals before the Supreme Court. Appeal number 1361, That is the main appeal filed by the federal government. And appeal number 1394, that is the appeal filed to challenge the order granted by the Court of Appeal, staying the execution of judgment of the court, same court delivered on the 13th of October 2022. So, and however, today the both appeals came up for hearing, and first of all, the court had the main appeal, which is an appeal number 1361, then which deals with appeal filed by the federal government challenging the judgment of the Court of Appeal. And of course, we are aware we cross appeal some part of the judgment that has to do with status of IPOB. So that was what they referred to cross appeal, which we did in respect of the appeal. So today, the Chief Kano Gabiese and also led us the proceedings of today. And the advocacy and argument was delivered by Professor Michael Zeko, who has been leading us in the matter. So it was a very wonderful presentation before the court. And the entire argument was taken and briefs adopted. Consequently, adjourned to 15th of December 2023 for hearing. It's so important for judgment. So it's very important to emphasize because to clarify, because before now we have two pending applications before the court. It's application for bail, and second one is application for transfer to prison. So and you are aware, matter was coming up today for hearing on the main appeal. So the lead counsel and the silk was on the view, which is the correct position of the law. That they don't want to entertain any application that will delay the proceedings of today. Because if they had mentioned that any of the application, this appeal will not be had, and it will work gravely against the interests of MNK. So they prefer to go with the main appeal, which is right for hearing, and which will take care of many issues raised on those applications. So having been heard and adjourned judgment, they apply for those applications to be withdrawn. So and the coast is clear. Also, the second appeal that has to do with our appeal against the other state execution of judgment of the Court of Appeal was directed and should be abided by the judgment of the Court of this court by somewhat consolidated. So the judgment on both will be delivered on December 15. So that's what's simply happened in court today. And we thank God that most importantly the appeal was heard today, because we had issue with dates. Of course, we are aware that the matter was originally adjourned to 14th of September for hearing before it fall within the period of spring court vacations. So it became an issue getting a fresh date. So which Professor Michael Zekome did everything humanly possible to ensure that this date is given to us. So and I commend him and also commend the team who work assiduously to ensure that we give the best for Onyedomas Nnamdi Kanu in particular and Biafrans in general. So today is a very wonderful day. The legal hostilities ended today in court, so are awaiting judgment. So we have to act and start with our own part as well. So also very important to that let's say Chief Kano Agabiete saying that commended the team led by Chief Michael Zekome, Professor Michael Zekome, for excellent work done so far, particularly the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which is said read in between line and they were excellent. So he commended us and also encouraged us thank us for the effort so far, and they also encourage us to continue.
The new son.
Important thing, of course, we are away, which I had constantly maintained that this is a sacrifice for our people. This is a way of contributing for the project. So, and anybody who's expecting money in return in this service is wasting his time.
Did you hear that?
On my own part, I've done my part, and I shall always be have to render my legal services. So within my professional ethics, so and also to answer when I'm called upon, and also to assist. So I encourage Biafrans all over the world particularly our people in the southeast, to remain calm that we are approaching to the end of the game, because having taken this had this appeal today, nothing will happen to it again. Nobody can withdraw it again. So the law will take its course, and it's very difficult. I don't want to preempt the judgment of the Court of Appeal, but I believe that at the end of the tunnel, that there was light and something positive and good will happen. I believe so. I believe so. What I've done extremely well, and God will perfect the other ones remaining. So I commend everybody to remain calm and prayerful, and also to keep their eyes on the ball, most importantly. So people should not be derailed, should not be deceived by those who has other agenda from the project which now become started.
Correct.
So project of a peaceful agitation, which has had at all time carried on within the confines of laws. So the issue of IPOB status was also part of the appeal, which we form part of the issues raised in our cross appeal, which I believe the Supreme Court will do justice to it on December 2, 15 to 23. So it's part of issues we raised this appeal here.
So let's leave it here, because you have heard there will also be judgment on the appeal of the IPOB status. What does that mean? The illegal proscription of IPOB. The illegal proscription of IPOB is exactly what we are going to also hear on the same day. It is in one package, because most important thing is what happened today. That is the entry level to the end of this case. Then 15th is the end of this case. On the 15th is the end of this case. So what you need to understand is that the reason why, I know so many of you will be wondering, why is the case adjourned to the 15th of December, which today is the 5th of October. Then the 5th of November is 1 month. Then the 5th of December is 2 months. So it is, why is it adjourned to the next 2 months and 1 week, 2 months and 10 days, I believe? It is a process of court, because what we say here, it is the way it is. It is a process of court. We know. Now, that process is a process whereby the court and the judges will study all the argument, counter-argument, all the evidence and counter-evidences. They will now write judgment, because the judgment must be written before coming to read it out to the public. So that is how it is done. So, if I follow to Agugagu, we know that there is no time that is worth Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's. There is no time that is worth, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu spent in the DSS solitary confinement that is actually, justifiable. There is no time that is justifiable. That is something everybody needs to understand. But in so doing, we have gotten this far. And this will now make IPOB, they will discharge IPOB of all these frivolous charges leveled against IPOB. IPOB members will not be harassed. IPOB Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will not be harassed, because it is within the right of everybody to believe in self-determination. It is within the right of everybody to believe in self-determination. So, that is the reason why this process is also a double-edged sword for us. a double-edged sword. And I am quite optimistic, quite very optimistic, that we are going to emerge victoriously. We are going to defeat them in their court. Because whatever we are doing, that is the reason why we always tell you that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is wise. DOS are wise. And Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is even wiser. That is it. Because you don't do things that will make you, that will bring you to the other side of the law. That's what IPOB has been doing. Ever since the inception, the foundation of IPOB, we have been law-abiding when it comes to the introduction of Eastern Security Network. It is what is called right to life. It is essential. You know what is called right to life? It is essential in every law of any part of the world. Right to life. Not even the life of one person. The life of a nation or community. So, having seen all that, it is important for our people to know that we are one step away. Just hold on. We are one step away. I know that so many criminals who will want to come and tell you otherwise because they want to use, the activities, because they know and they are well aware that what is going on right now, since the governors and all these Ohanezes and all these people, since they did not come out to demand for what is right, now we are going through a legal processes. This legal processes is going to disgrace all of them. And nobody will need to come and sign a surety because no one needs a surety. No one needs a surety. Rather, all of them who dealt with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will pay a reparation, and pay reparation to the IPOB's family who they have killed brutally, and release all of them who has been detained in the name that they are terrorists, that was pronounced by a terrorist himself, Buhari and Abba Kyari. So that is actually the double-edged sword. We are winning, Biafrans. Don't let anybody to come and tell you, sit at home, this and that. We have gone past that stage. Of course, the criminals, watch out. Watch out, the criminals. Do you know the reason why IPOB leadership maintained their policy of going through the legal process? Because it is very, very important. This legal process, people don't understand what is going on here. It is very, very important. It is a certificate to heaven. Direct access. So one thing, that is the reason why everybody must hold their peace. Because the reason why they kidnapped Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was to throw the last, to set up the last, trap for us. The last trap is actually, self-destruction. They wanted you because they believe, no, Eastern Security Network is Biafra Army. They wanted immediately when you take Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, we will declare war against Nigeria. And once you declare war against Nigeria, hoping that many of you who does not understand the struggle, that believe that Eastern Security Network is our it's our foot soldier. You don't know what is security. With those of you who are living in developed country, there are private security. And private security does not have right to arrest anyone. Private security is assigned to protect some certain organization, certain companies, certain group of people. So they are actually focused on that assignment given to them. It is only when, if you are a criminal who is coming to, assess where they are assigned to protect, they have right to apprehend you. They even have right to repel against you if you are actually endangering their life. They can kill you. Have you now seen Eastern Security Network is not Biafran Army, and has never been. Eastern Security Network is a security outfit that protects the land of Biafra from the activities of terrorists, which you can see the result of this terrorism in the northern Nigeria, how it is the life of people are being ruined by being displaced, being sent into IDP. That is exactly what we protected our land from. That is the reason why Eastern Security Network is there. And they will continue to do the same. We don't have army to go to war. We don't have army. So Eastern Security Network is not army of war. They are not. Take that into your brain. Those of you whom the activities of this Finland-based terrorist is actually the reason why he came from that to the mainstream was they wanted to lure IPOB and Biafrans into the untimely war, because they saw Eastern Security Network, they saw the number, they were very shocked. So before we create army, they want you to go into unprepared war, so that the world, not even war, or go into violence that the world will label you terrorist. That's what they plan. That Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will be forgotten in the DSS dungeon. That was the plan of the enemy. Because they believe you are emotional. And they know you are emotional. And that is the reason why they brought somebody like this Ekperima to push you. We are going to war. It is violent. Tit for tat. When you don't have the capacity with the 13 people, you don't have the capacity, but you are calling for what you don't have the capacity to do. So they knew that if Mazen Nnamdi Kanu could telephonically create security outfit that is formidable enough to protect the land of Biafra from Fulani herdsmen invasion, they feared that if we allow this man, he might create an army. So that is the reason why they had to violate every law. They know they will lose in court. It is not as if they don't know they will lose in court. They are aware of the consequences. But it is a chance that Nigeria, Britain are willing to take in order to slow the pace of IPOB, because they believe that the next thing Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is going to form his army and declare war on Nigeria. That was what their belief is. They don't know that IPOB we have a plan, and it is far from what they are expecting from us. That's why they did it, and that's why they expected you to start going through violent process. They expect you to go through violent process so that Britain will do what they do best. They will lobby every international organization. They will lobby World Terrorist Index. They will lobby everyone to now say that IPOB is a terrorist organization. Therefore, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu cannot be released. So they tried it. The DOS were formidably, consistent in maintaining the law and order, in maintaining the peaceful, agitation. They push it in every ramification. And they failed. That is the reason why they were delaying, believing that once they are delaying, we will do what they plan for us to do. Because the plan was go to war. make the place ungovernable, go to war, be violent, be violent. That is the reason why a wise man said that in Igbo language, he said, two wrongs can never make right. Two wrongs can never make right. It does not mean that we are not going to get Biafra. But we have our map. We have our plan. We have our diagram. Plan A and plan B, plan C. We have them in place. So, whoever that want to chipotago kunama mboge lube. Because even the time Christ said, the hour has come. You know the meaning of the hour has come? It means it is the right time. The rest of the time was not the right time. But when he said the hour has come, so the hour has not come. And we cannot be pushed and be told, where to fall. We cannot be pushed and be told where to fall. That was the plan of the Western agenda I've been screaming and shouting about. You cannot be pushed and be told where to fall. They wanted to push us and tell us where to fall. Then we declare violence. They will now kill innocent people. In doing so, they will label us terrorists, or they will now, next thing, they will send the UN mission into Biafra land, and you will see violence for 24 years in that region without it being solved. What is happening in Congo today? That the Congo president is calling UN mission to go. They should pack their bags and go. So that's exactly what the plan of these people are. When they were shouting woto woto all this while, you go and you will be believing that these people have like 1 million soldiers on the ground. But they showed you 13. Is it even up to 13? When you see is a temple. When you see him, you know that there are 6. So that is what you need to understand. Emotion is the biggest enemy of a person. Being emotional. It is on anybody, everybody. But when you allow yourself to be more emotional than rational, dude, you get yourself into a mighty mess. And that was the grave that Britain dug for us. And we refuse to fall into it. But you said before that Simon is working for Nigeria government. Did I say otherwise? If Simon is working for the Western agenda, and that is what I've been continuously telling you, who extraordinary rendition Mazen Nnamdi Kanu? Was it not Nigeria? Who actually made sure that the plan stood? Was it not masterminded by Britain? So are they not the equal shareholder in the crime? In a real sense, are they not the equal shareholder in such crime? So I know that so many of you does not understand English. So many of you does not understand English. Mgbe nje kwuo mmadụ ụgwọ ka ọ gbagbuolu m somebody. Nkwuogu ụgwọ gụnwawu Nneka Bridget. Nkwuogu ụgwọ ka ị gbagbuolu m somebody maka ọ na-adị m ka ị dị aghọtachi English ọfụma. Nkwuogu ụgwọ ka ị gbagbuolu m mmadụ. Gụnwe je gbagbuo agbagbu. And at the end of the day, ka onye gburu gụwa gbagburu agbagbu ga answer crime of murder. Mụnwa kwụ ụgwọ ga answer maybe crime of premeditated, or how do they pronounce that law? They will charge me with there is a law that I just want to give it its terminology, because when I pay you, you are the person who pulled the trigger. I am the person who actually masterminded it, but it is not called masterminded, but I've forgotten. I will remember. So I masterminded it. It is my own initiative, but I have to pay you to do the deed. Both of us are killers, aren't we? So if I tell you Western agenda is working, they can English. So ọ bụrụ na ngwa gị gbagbuo ịgbagbuo ọrụ mụ na gị ọrụ ọzọ mụ na gị gburu dị ozu ọ mụ na gị na maka ọmụnwa bupụtara uche kwụọ gị ụgwọ go adọ the trigger. So ọ mụ na gị ejide gị ikpe ọma afọ ọ mụ na gị ga-azụ ụgba. So mgbe m si gị dat na onye bute dị uche to delay Nnamdi Kanu, to make Nnamdi Kanu to be placed so that his emotional followers, let me tell you the otu has a plan oyo ofuma. Hasige take nwude nwoke anụnwa, nwude nwoke a ife ọbụna oge eligi nwude nwoke a tinye ya n'ime ebe a nka his emotional followers activate ka ha emotional ndị na-eshia na-enwere uche kpọpụtazia Eastern Security Network from the bush ka faja nụwazi ọgụ ka eje nụwazi agha in so doing, so that anụwazi agha ife abịa level ọnụ aka ọnụ ya ga-akụ akụchu a ga-anọ na a na-akụ unu ya ha na-ebekwa akwa so ka ife a ga na-akụ gị na-ebe akwa wụ ka ejezie gwa ndị na-achụ ụwa na ọkwa unu nwa wụ agresọ na ọkwa unu wụ terrorist. Because ama nkọzi dị akụkọ ka o si bido ọwụ ihe ndachi ime unu. So Bridget ka Nneka nwee uche asụgolu gị n'oyibo sụọlụ gị n'Igbo. When I continuously telling you Western agenda on what the Ekperima is doing, you don't understand. It is all about bringing you to be emotional. Act with emotions, not act with your wisdom. That was the plan. So the earlier you understand the game, the better for you. Why do you think he's in the Western world taking responsibility of killing soldiers in Biafra land? Tweeting. You see in his tweet, why do you think he's in the Western world taking responsibility of killing soldiers through his tweets? Also, stop confusing yourself with English language. You can't explain. That can explain, please request me bring you in so that you will explain to Biafra. I will do you that favor. Bring you in to explain to Biafra, maybe with your French language or with your whichever language you are actually familiar with. Because as you go Igbo, you got wrong. I said it in English, you got up. Aga m egbulugo onwe m ọbụrụ mụ asị ga-enwe n'uche jee ṅụọ ala jee chọọ nwaanyị mụrụ nwa ofe ṅụọ ala ịṅụta ala then inwe uche. Ife nji nwee uche bụ na aṅụ m ala 2 years ka aṅụrụ ala my mom 2 good years ṅụta uche ṅụta brain ọkwa ịghọta. So jee chọọ onye mụrụ nwa ofe ṅụtụrụ ala ka ịma na ị ga-aṅụta uche ị nwere uche ị mara anya na nke ala onya wa ife na-enye gị nsogbu. And I can't be blamed for your stupidity or for your lack of sense. I cannot be blamed for that. That's one thing you need to understand. So I believe I am going to leave it here. The reason why I am going to leave it here, if possible, there is something I said that we are going to discuss about religion, ordinana, culture, that we are going to discuss, where I am going to give you analogy that will make you to understand whom you are, and that will make you to understand that when we are going back to our root, it is not going to kill twins as they projected that we used to be. It is not going to bath a dead body and give the wife to drink as the omenana alubala for omenana projected. It is not. That is the reason why I told you the analogy I am going to give you, especially on these people who are very confused on who is Jesus Christ. I am going to clear your doubt. And that analogy I am going to give you, you will be amazed, you will be happy. Then in giving you that analogy, then you will no longer go and ask me. Because so many of our people, when you tell them Jesus Christ is from this lineage, they tell you the lineage does not matter. The genealogy does not matter. It does not matter. But when people claim it and bring you the fake of it, you are worshipping and you are bowing down to. But we are going to talk about it. Maybe if I have space this evening, if I finish on time, then we are going to talk about it. It is going to be very, very, interesting conversation that we're going to have. We will open the line. When we are talking about it, we will open the line this evening, maybe. Although when you are this one call himself Bobrisky Uzu Wihi. Who are you working for? Bobrisky onye mpịawa azụ. Ị na-eche anya ọ bụrụ Bobrisky ka iji mepe akwụkwọ. Ị mara na Bobrisky edese Bobrisky ka o wee mee ka ụmụaka gị je yiwe efe ụmụ nwaanyị je lawa nwoke ibe ha, so that ka ha wee nwee ego, because na Bobrisky ma enwe ego. Ifela ada eme gị mpa mmadụ dịka gị ka ije ewelu afa Bobrisky tinye na your profile. You are answering Bobrisky. Ifela ada eme gị mugo. Ị na-ajụ m onye, who am I working for? Nakwana Bobrisky, mugukpo una ajụ m onye nna. I am working for you, fool. Great Biafrans all over the world, the great people of Africa, this is where I'm going to leave it until we meet again. Don't forget, 15th of December is when the verdict is going to be given. And it is not going to be like the verdict of appeal court, which is undermined by Nigeria court, Nigeria executive. So, because having seen every, ramification, don't forget the issue of jurisdiction overrides every other thing in this matter. Until we meet again, share the video, click the like button. If you are watching on YouTube, like the video, share the video, and bye for now. On YouTube, EC Mazi said, my family don't celebrate Christmas or Easter anymore in the last 4 years. That's great. That's great. I haven't been celebrating such thing. I haven't been celebrating it, I believe now, maybe in the last 6-7 years now. In the last 6-7 years, I haven't been celebrating it. That's why you don't see me posting, or birthday or this birthday issue, because there are things. If you read the book of Amos, the Bible says, I hate and I despise thy feast days. Your feast days. So, which is earthly, the worldly feast days. You cannot keep the holy days that God gave you as a commandment, but you are celebrating your feast. In my own understanding, I believe that for me to be celebrating my birthday and all this, I need to know all the feasts that God gave us to celebrate. If I start celebrating them, if I celebrate my birthday, it is add-ons. That is my belief. I am not trying to recruit you not to celebrate your birthday, but that is a good development. Like you saw that last month, Ethiopian people, which are the tribe of they are our bloodline. They are children of Israel, which is Jacob, because most of the time when we tell our people that we are Israelites, they claim, they tell you, how can you be Israelite? They don't know that God changed the name of Jacob to Israelite. But these are the things we are going to treat when we bring down such topics. And it will now sink in the minds of our people to understand their value system and whom they are. And for you to stop destroying Bible, because it is not your mate. Destroying Bible is not a brig, your mate. Until we meet again. Stay safe.